All right, so we're back for another deep dive.
Back again.
And this time, we talked about it a while ago, but
Yeah.
seems like forever. But Aiko is back in the news.
Yeah. They've been making a lot of progress.
Yeah, so for anybody just tuning in, Aiko is that Filipino AI assistant that we talked about.
Right.
And it's been making some serious waves. But I guess for those who don't know what it is, can you give a quick
Yeah, so Aiko is this really groundbreaking AI assistant. And what makes it so special is it's really designed with Filipinos in mind.
Okay.
Not just, it could speak Tagalog.
Right.
It's really about understanding Filipino culture, like the values.
Yeah, the nuances.
The humor, like the way we think, all of that.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's even the name Aiko is always insightful, knowledge-oriented.
Yeah, you got it.
It really is all about that.
It's all about knowledge, right?
Right.
Insight and helping you be more efficient.
So that was kind of the first version of it that we talked about. But
right.
Now they've really been stepping it up.
Busy.
What can this thing actually do?
Yeah, so, before it was kind of like this general purpose AI assistant.
Yeah.
But now they're really focusing on how can it solve real life problems for specific groups of people.
Cool.
So, for example, students, creative professionals, people working in the corporate world.
Yeah.
So let's say you're a student and, you've got this huge history paper due.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You got all these academic articles to read.
And they're so boring.
Exactly. And Aiko can summarize all of that for you.
That's cool.
And then it can even connect those historical events to what's happening in Filipino society today.
Wow.
So it becomes more relevant, right?
That would have been helpful back in college.
No, right?
Okay, so what about for me?
Yeah.
Somebody who's a creative professional.
Right.
Let's say I'm writing a screenplay. I get stuck on a scene.
Yeah, writer's block happens.
Can Aiko help me with that?
Absolutely. So, you're stuck on this scene. Aiko can help you brainstorm dialogue.
Okay.
Maybe suggest some alternative plot twists.
Cool.
Even generate descriptions, based on Filipino folklore or mythology.
Oh, wow.
To give your story a unique flavor.
Yeah, that would be super helpful.
And even in the corporate world, let's say you're working on a new product launch.
Right.
You're trying to figure out what the market trends are.
Oh, yeah.
Aiko can analyze tons of data.
Okay.
Find out who the key demographics are within the Filipino market.
So it understands the Filipino consumer.
Exactly. And it can even predict, how people might react to your product or service.
That's pretty powerful.
Based on cultural trends and all of that.
So it's not just
It's not just a simple translation tool.
Right.
It's really about understanding how Filipinos think.
Yeah, so remind me, how does it actually work?
Yeah, so behind all of this is something called GPT.
Okay.
And that's basically a massive network of information that allows it to understand and respond to you in a human-like way.
So it's learning.
Yeah, it's constantly learning, and one of the ways it learns is through machine learning.
Right.
So the more data it processes,
the
more examples it sees, the smarter it gets.
Like teaching a child.
Exactly. And then there's natural language processing, or NLP.
Right.
And that's what helps it understand not just individual words, but how we actually speak and write naturally.
Right.
With all the slang and the nuances of language.
Okay, so I have to ask then, how well does it actually understand all the different dialects in the Philippines?
That's a great question. And that's one of the areas they're really focusing on right now. Because the Philippines has so many different languages and dialects. And they're constantly training Aiko on all these different dialects, incorporating local slang and expressions to make it even more accurate.
That's impressive.
So yeah, it's pretty amazing what they're doing.
So what does this all mean for the average Filipino?
Well, I think it's about more than just convenience, right?
Yeah.
It's about empowering Filipinos to communicate better, to learn more efficiently, and to create things that they maybe never thought possible before.
And it's made by Filipinos for Filipinos.
Exactly. It's our own tech scene is really stepping up and showing the world what we can do.
So how do people get their hands on this thing?
Well, Aiko is currently in early access.
Okay.
Which means you can sign up for the waiting list.
Oh, cool.
And get a chance to try it out before everyone else.
Okay, so if you are even a little bit curious about what Aiko can do, go sign up for that waiting list.
Absolutely.
Because this is the future.
It is, and it's speaking Tagalog, Bisaya, Ilocano, you name it.
Until next time, keep diving deep.
Keep diving
there.
Later day.